Hi, Dr. Ali here. Thank you for joining me for my 15-minute video. Maybe you're here because you'd like to learn more about how I treat people, how I help people with their health and their life goals. Maybe you're here because you have an upcoming visit or a call with me. Either way, this video is meant to be an introduction to who I am, how I work, and so you can learn a little bit more about what the process is in my practice. So thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule. I really appreciate it. So let's jump in, because my goal is to have you feel inspired, educated, and ready to take the next steps in your health, whether that's with me or someone else. And it's really meant to be an educational time. So let's dive right in. So maybe you called my office or attended a webinar or attended a talk I gave and you're interested because you have stress in your life. Or maybe you're interested because you struggle with your hormones or your weight, your metabolism, other things that are involved in your metabolism like your blood sugar or your cholesterol. Maybe you've joined because you have tried so many things, so many diets, you've seen your doctor, you've been compliant with your doctor, maybe you got a lab result that said you're totally fine, but you just don't feel fine. I would say the majority of my patients struggle with one of these things, whether it's be hormonal imbalance, fatigue, lack of sex drive, just not feeling like themselves. So that's what this talk is going to be about. It's going to be geared towards stress, hormones, and overall health, including nutrition. And these are sort of some of the pillars that I use in my practice because most of my patients are not feeling like themselves. Naturally, at the end of this video, there'll be an offer for you to talk with me free. We call it a discovery call. Perhaps you're already scheduled for a discovery call with me, but that's just the natural flow of things. So I just wanted to give you a heads up ahead of time that there will be an opportunity if you want to get more information. And if it feels like a good fit for you, the next step is what we call the complete wellness evaluation. Now, this is not the discovery call. The discovery call is just an introduction, but the complete wellness evaluation is where we take a deep dive on your health, where you are, where you have been, what are your goals, your past medical history, your allergies, your symptoms, your medications, all of that. So that's where I really sit down with you and we have a one-on-one discussion to individualize everything that I've talked about here today to your current situation. And so through that wellness evaluation is the time where we really strategize on your individual needs and your individual treatment plan. Normally that visit is $290 in my office, but since you're watching this video and since we're moving through a whole goal setting and wellness evaluation, we discount that to $87. So typically we're not somebody's first stop. We may be the third or fourth thing that they've tried, and I work a lot with people who feel like they have tried it all. And I just wanted to let you know you're not alone with that. And so a lot of people will tell me, gosh, I wish I would have gotten here sooner. I feel like I've waited too long. Is it too late? You know, they tell me, oh, I was gonna start the diet, or I was gonna, quit that bad habit, or I was gonna, stop drinking as much alcohol or sugar, and I was gonna start on Monday, and then Monday became next week, and then Monday became next month, and then pretty soon I'm waiting for the next new year to come around. And so that's where people feel like they need a lot of support. I'm going to tell you about Shelly. She's 52 years old. She came to me and she had a smattering of issues. She was pre-diabetic. She was overweight. Her blood pressure was starting to climb up. She was going through menopause. So her hormones, she felt like, were ruling her life. She had all the things that comes with that. And so these were all signs that her body was giving her that something was off, that something wasn't right. She went to her doctor, she got a blood pressure medication. They talked to her about removing sugar from her diet and other sugary foods to improve her blood sugar, and they sort of said, let us know if you want hormones for your menopause. She then went home and she tried all of what she thought were the perfect diets. She tried the calorie reduction, she tried ketogenic diet, she tried paleo diet. She didn't have any luck with those. She took her medication and her blood pressure did come down. But if she took the pill away, she noticed that her blood pressure would come back. And in fact, she started getting headaches from her medication. Suddenly then, Shelly's sister passed away of a sudden heart attack, secondary to diabetes. So this was Shelly's wake-up call, and unfortunately certain crises can trigger us to say, hey, I don't want that same path for myself. Shelly had a daughter who was in a serious relationship and considering marriage and grandkids, and Shelly was very excited about the prospect of having grandchildren and wanted to be healthy and be there for her daughter and her grandchildren. And so she took her sister's death to heart and as a sign for her to really get serious about how to reach her health goal of bouncing her baby grandkids on her knee and playing with them as they grow older. So this is a good example of a wake-up call, and also a good example of someone who was surviving but not thriving. Shelly didn't have good energy, good sleep, good sex drive. She did not feel like she was thriving. This is what I focus on in my practice, is looking at the whole person and saying, where do you want to be? And how do I do that exactly? Well, I really focus on what I call the 5 pillars of health. So my method is to take all 5 of these things, plus a few other things sprinkled in depending on what your individual needs are, and really put together a comprehensive plan or program for you to start feeling better. So the 5 pillars are detox, nutrition, fitness, all those biochemical things that I mentioned before, your hormones, your neurotransmitters, your biochemistry, and mentorship. Now, this is a system that I've put together because I find that it really works, and it takes all 5 parts for people to take their health to the next level. So we're not talking about just being okay, we're talking about being awesome. Stress is the number one cause, and I'm going to say that, the number one thing I see in my practice and in our culture causing imbalance in your health, in your life. So there's lots of different kinds of stress. There's obviously physical stress, that maybe if you've had an auto accident or you've had an injury from an activity that you've done, all of these types of things are negative forms of physical stress. Also, I'd say alcohol or excessive dietary issues like lots of sugar intake, lots of saturated fats, those are forms of physical stress as well. So there's lots of ways we can control physical stress through our diet and our lifestyle, but there's a lot of things that are out of our control too. So physical stress could also be from the toxins. We live in a toxic world. We have lots of pesticides, herbicides, heavy metals, food additives, things like that sometimes are out of our control. We also have emotional stress, and this is a big issue. A lot of people are under a lot of emotional stress. Our life is moving pretty fast here where I'm living in North America. And so, we get a lot coming at us. We get a lot of sensory input, we get a lot of emotional input, and I think through these last couple of years, especially, people would agree that the emotional stress has been very high. So the emotional impact is a huge piece of how maybe you're not feeling as well, and I always address that in my treatment protocols. And so I always address that as well and kind of say, hey, what's going on with the mind? How do we build some mindfulness around the goals that we're trying to set for our health? Another pillar of health is hormones. Might be one of my most favorite things to talk about. So when we talk about hormones, it's not just the reproductive hormones that everyone thinks of estrogen, progesterone, testosterone. I also really take into consideration the hormones that are of our metabolism. We have fat burning hormones, we have fat storing hormones. So it's really important to look at the balance of those two as well. For example, if you have excess cortisol or estrogen or insulin, it's going to be very difficult for you to lose weight. So whether or not you're doing that with me, take that tidbit with you and have somebody check your hormones. It's a lot of different ways to look at hormones, but one of my favorite ones to look at is cortisol. Cortisol is that stress hormone that comes out of the adrenal glands. It is so important in your energy levels, your sleep quality, how you're burning or storing your calories that you digest. And it's also our main stress hormone. So if you have a lot of stress, it's definitely doing some funny things to your cortisol. Now, whether it's too high or too low, that takes a clinician to decide how that's clinically appropriate for you. But I can tell you, if it's too high or too low, you're probably not feeling very well. And so when our cortisol is out, we get belly fat, fatigue, trouble sleeping, maybe feeling anxious or jittery during certain times of the day too. So when you get to your hormone goals, we ask you, how's your liver functioning? How's your weight? How's your stress level? How's your energy throughout the day? How's your blood sugar management? Do you have any vitamin D deficiencies? Do you have any iron or other B vitamin deficiencies? These are all going to affect your hormonal health. And so I do a lot of hormonal testing just to understand how all of these different hormone systems are working together. And there's lots of ways I do that, and I definitely individualize it to your personal needs. Another sort of pillar that I like to talk about a lot is detox. Now, detox gets kind of a scary rap out there in the interwebs. Everybody's doing these crazy diets and maybe they're fasting or taking a bunch of supplements. There's lots of detox programs out there that are very expensive. I like to take the fear out of the detox because detox really, your cells are detoxing every minute of every day. You're detoxing right now. It's part of our normal cellular metabolism. We take nutrients in the cells, do our cellular action, and then there's some cellular garbage that needs to be taken out. Now, the way that our garbage gets taken out is through our bowel movements, our urine, our sweat, our breath, things like that. And so you're constantly detoxifying. Now, when we start to get our cells feeling run down or toxic, I don't like to use that word, but maybe they're backing up on taking out the garbage, is when we have too much stuff going in and not enough stuff being taken out. And so I usually focus at least some part of my time when working with people on getting their cells really doing that metabolism in a healthy way. We want to make sure that you can take out that cellular garbage. And we don't need to do a big, elaborate, supplement protocol or fast or anything that's too scary to get that done. But it does change your metabolism hormones. It does change your inflammation. And so doing detox in a healthy way is really quite beneficial for your body. And another pillar that, of course, is really important to talk about is nutrition. I mean, nutrition comes from food, right? And I have the saying that if we can use food as medicine, we're off to a great start. Because food, you control every single day what you put in your mouth. Now, what you put in your mouth really talks to your microbiome, which is that community of microorganisms that are sort of symbiotic with who we are. They live on our skin, in our mouth, and the largest amount of them lives in our GI tract. And in fact, now we recognize our microbiome as its own organ of sorts. So we can really influence our microbiome with our nutrition. And I always say that gut health is where it's at. That is the root of the tree, our digestive tract. It's a main source of how we absorb our nutrients and how we detoxify. And our immune system also lives in our gut. We have more lymph nodes in and around our digestive tract than we do anywhere else in our body. So a healthy gut is a healthy immune system. We also make more neurotransmitters in our digestive tract than we do in our brain. So a healthy gut also is a healthy mood, if you will. So how do I mainly influence the gut? Is through nutrition. It's one way. It's not the only way. We have lots of other things too, but it is definitely a staple in digestive health is through healthy nutrition. And so really part of the pillars of health is to teach you about what is the right diet for you. Forget all the fad diets. Forget all of the ketos and the fasting and the paleo and the vegan and the raw. Let's find the right diet for you. And that takes us talking and understanding how your body works and how your metabolism works. And once we find that right diet for you, we can power those healthy foods for you and kind of remove the things that may be pro-inflammatory for you, while making sure you're getting lots of those phytonutrients and healthy building blocks of proteins and good fats and good carbohydrates. So food is medicine. That's my motto. And then arguably the most important pillar is mentorship. I'm a big believer in mentorship because none of us are stuck on an island alone. And a lot of times some of these shifts that we ask you to do here at Spring, or that I get pretty specific with you to do take a little bit of accountability. And also just let me show you how it's done. Let's talk through what you've tried and what hasn't worked and what has worked. And so I'm a big believer in the mentorship. So with mentorship, you and I and potentially my health coach work together to create a team and create a plan that's individualized and customized to your need. We give you a full layout of what to expect. We give you the blueprint, or the map, if you will, of the road we're going to travel together. And that really keeps you engaged with your process. And that is exciting for us because then we see bigger results. And the last pillar is fitness or movement. And so we talk about movement here at Spring Integrative Health being a fundamental part of keeping your health vital. And so that is, what is the right type of movement for you? There's a lot of ways for us to figure out, is cardiovascular, is weight training, gentle walking, stretching, things like that. What is the best way to integrate movement into your body and into your lifestyle? You don't have to become a yogi and stand on your head. You don't have to run a marathon. You don't need to be a bodybuilder to have good health and fitness. So now we have all those pillars together: the detox, the fitness, the nutrition, the hormones, and the mentorship. We put them all together in a system for you. And it's really exciting for me because this is the culmination. My system is the culmination of my experience in treating thousands of people. Myself and my practice members here at Spring Integrative Health, we have never met a patient that we didn't feel like we could help in some way or another. We never met a patient that we didn't say, hey, there's nothing we can do for you. And we love being in the trenches with you. We're here to support you. We're here to answer any question. None is too silly. And we're here to really give you that guidance and support that you need when the going may get tough, when you're trying to make some changes in your health. So we give you that knowledge so you can tap into your power. And that power enlivens you to become the best person you want to be and to feel great. Like Shelly with her future grandbabies, whatever that might mean for you. And I hope that you've gained some good information or a couple little nuggets out of this video to take with you. Now is the opportunity for you to move forward with what I talked about earlier in the call, which is that 15-minute free discovery call with me if you want to ask me specific questions or learn more. And then after that would be the full wellness evaluation, where we go through each system of your body, where you've been, where you want to go, what your health goals are, and decide what the right path for you is. So the discovery call is free. You would just call the clinic, which is linked in this email if you want to create that, or maybe you already have it scheduled and I asked you to watch this video ahead of time. So thank you again for watching this video. I truly look forward to meeting you. It is my life's passion and my life work to help people in this way. And it brings me joy to know that I affect the world one person at a time, and hopefully there is a ripple effect through the rest of the world by all of us feeling good and living our true passion and purpose. So feel free to reach out to the office. I really look forward to meeting you and joining on your health journey. Thank you so much.